Thank you, James. And I'm joined by Asia Corbett here, head of RevOps and head of community at RevGenius. And we're excited to present today. We're talking about what are you giving back to empower and inspire the next generation? And why is this so important to give back? That's the sense of community. Community is more than just a buzzword today. It's a new way of doing things, of including all people. And that's an important trend that we want to dive into. So what is RevGenius? And we started RevGenius a year ago. Asia's newer to RevGenius as of the last couple of weeks. But we saw a gap in the space. We created a platform to enable sales, marketing, and RevOps professionals to grow and collaborate together. But specifically, our mission, when James came to me and said, how are you empowering, motivating, and inspiring the next generation? I said, oh my gosh, this is our mission. Our mission is to educate, empower, and to inspire all revenue professionals, not just ones that look like me and a lot of the audience. So what is, let's start off with what is the next generation. You notice a lot of diverse faces here, different people. And this really is the truth. And it's also currently this generation, but to really give back is to allow everybody to have a seat at the table. So the next generation, we have to allow that. And why is empowering and inspiring the next generation important? The next generation will be the future of software as a service. So everything we're talking about today, Luke Rogers' awesome presentation, and the future of the world, and giving everybody a seat at that table is critical. So the next generation of the workforce should and will include people that look different than me and you and all of us. So it doesn't look like us. And I want to pass on to Asia to talk, dive into some of the stats here to really show why this is important and how we could best give.
Yeah, thanks, Jared. It is really, really important to pay attention to this, because what happens if we don't? What can we lose? What will we lose if we don't pay attention to this? We lose dollars, our revenue, we lose people, our employees, our customers, and we lose credibility. And you think about all of the companies that you've seen in the news lately that have not been paying attention to including diversity in their cultures. And it's really easy to see those impacts in the B2C world, like H&M and Starbucks and Motel 6, and insert any other company. But what about in the B2B world? Like, it's a little bit harder to see or feel those effects. It's a little more under the surface. And so I wanted to go ahead.
Yeah, no, especially when it's people that look like me that are running this world. We think everything is fine.
Yeah.
But it takes, and this is why, I'm excited to bring you up with me and our team being so diverse to pull back that curtain, right? And show the dangers and the perils.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. The full-time team at RevGenius, we are pretty diverse. There's Jared, there's 2 women, one is a woman of color, and then we have DJ, who is also a person of color. So I think we're starting off on the right foot, and that's great. Because me personally, my whole life, I've been the one person in the room. And how great would it be to be a role model for people coming up from college and just starting out into their careers, that see someone who looks like them and say, I see myself there. I can get there. I can be that person. That's my path too. And it's very hard to do that when this space is homogenous. So I wanted to point out some stats. 9% of CROs at unicorn SaaS companies, and unicorn SaaS companies are companies that have valuations in excess of $1 billion. 9% of the CROs are women. and 1% are people of color. So that is staggering, and we can change that. Like, this is our job, and this is how Jared and I are going to make waves and sort of change these things, and hopefully everyone follows suit. Diverse teams beat homogenous teams every time in terms of performance. So the benefits of having and bringing everybody to the table, you're going to do better. You're going to perform better. You're going to be better. And you can see the entertainment industry alone, granted is not B2B, but they're losing potential of $10 billion annually. If you think about, that's just the entertainment industry. What about SaaS? What about software? What about the B2B space? How are we losing when we leave this next generation behind? So just a little bit more on how diversity and inclusion leads to results. Ethnically and racially diverse teams have 43% higher profits than the national average. Gender diverse companies are performing 21% better than the national average. So you can see the benefits in your bottom line, but you'll feel them in other areas too. In your overall culture, in employee satisfaction, how people feel heard and how they show up in their jobs and in their communities. And so it's really the big question is, how can we motivate and inspire to have the biggest positive impact on the next generation? What can we do? And I'll let Jared close it up.
So the answer is community. And it seems, one word answer, the irony, it has so much depth to it. I think understanding what community is, what it truly is, it's not a platform. It's not, are you on Slack? Yeah, RevGenius is on Slack today. Tomorrow will be somewhere else, and others are on other platforms. That conversation happens, and that doesn't matter. That's not what community is. People. Okay, community is people, and it's all people. It's not just people that look like you. And one cool quote as I go into this, and I love this quote. And I spoke to Asia before this. I said this quote could go on any single topic that we have, whether we're talking about the start of RevGenius, whether we're pitching for funding, whether we're talking about motivating, inspiring the next generation. This is the co-founder and CTO of HubSpot, and Dharmesh is famously known for, I don't know if he coined community-led growth, but he's definitely been throwing it around. But many companies forgot they sell to actual people. Humans care about the entire experience, not just the marketing, sales, or service. To really win in the modern age, you must solve for humans. So right before we close out with Owen here, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay, diversity isn't easy. Okay, do something that's not comfortable, and that's important. Be intentional, be thoughtful, seek out different mindsets. I was asked to come here to present, and I reached out to Asia and I said, can you please present with me? We all need to be doing things like this. Show up for others. This is big with community. How do you show up for others? And if you're thinking like this was the whole presentation, how do you show up for others? Mentor others. Mentor others that don't look like you. Coach others. Join their organizations. Give their feedback. Give feedback for them. Learn and teach them. Learn from them and teach them. And advocate. So that's, in a nutshell, and we're right at the time. Thank you for allowing that finish, Owen. But it's simple, and we could talk more. You could join RevGenius. You want to contact us in any way. As we close out, we're available.